Hello everybody, 4-Star here, and we are back with week 8 of the BFL Our Best Football League. And here we are in New York to see the Kansas City Scouts face off against the New York Jays. Both teams looking for a late season push to try to at least try to make it to the playoffs here. And as you can see here, Andy Hewitt gets pressured into throwing it right into the hands of Sean Bates, as Jason Blake will try to score here. He looks off to the left and throws it right to Adams, Will Adams, there with the first score of the game. In the next Jays drive here, they get all the way to the goal line and toss it to Lamar Walker as he gets knocked right into the end zone for the touchdown there, and New York taking a 14-point lead here. In the next drive here, Jason Blake makes a huge mistake as he gets pressured into throwing this one right down the middle to Andrews, where they can go down the field and score a field goal. On this drive, Hewitt will try to capitalize after a good stop, trying to get some points before halftime, but throws an errant pass and they will have to go to halftime 17-3. Also, Andy Hewitt was injured until the fourth quarter. But right before the first half can end, Jason Blake here throws a pass right to Wells, but it gets tipped out of his hands and right into Harris's hands for a spectacular interception. The Jays start off the third quarter strong here. Jason Blake has a play action fake and runs it almost near the end zone before getting tripped up right before the 2-yard line. Unfortunately, in typical Jays fashion, they can't finish off the drive and they would have to settle for a field goal. Third down and 11 here for Austin Cole on this drive. He has a play fake there, but can't find anyone there, and they would have to settle for another field goal. Jason Blake and the Jays here trying to capitalize on their big lead here, throws it right to Vincent for a great first down. And then once again, Blake showing off some skills that he has as he rolls off to the right and finds Alexander for a nice dot for the first down. Right before the end of the third here, Blake would give the ball right to Lamar Walker for the longest run play of the day, breaking off a huge run, putting him inside the 5. And then Blake would basically end the game here with a rollout to the right and having an open lane right to the end zone. He ended up scoring a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown to win this game 30-6. And the Jays win their second game this season since week 1. For our second matchup of the day, we got the Orlando Knight Riders at 1-5, taking on the Dallas Marshals, who are 2-5, trying to look for a late season push. And starting off the day with Pat Kane throwing a nice dot to McKinney, which would lead to another dot into the end zone to Tony Chrisman for a great touchdown score there to start off the drive. But Kenny Harrison and Devontae Pritchard would respond well as Pritchard gets the drag route and he'll take it all the way into the end zone. I believe this was about 75 yards into the end zone, and this won't be the last time you see them today. As on the very next drive, Harrison and Pritchard connect once again, this time on a post route. Nobody's even covering Pritchard basically, as he has about 5 yards of separation and getting into the end zone for yet another touchdown. These two are incredible together. Pat Kane and company try to respond here by doing a play fake, throws it to Tony Chrisman, but an incredible tip drill interception by Bobby Lowe gives Orlando the ball back. Now Kenny Harrison tactically making adjustments on the fly here, has a play fake from Pritchard and patiently waits in the pocket. He has all day, throws it right to Schultz. He breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone for yet another touchdown for Kenny Harrison. That's his third today. And that wouldn't be the last time you see Harrison and Schultz connect here, as they connect this time after a great defensive stop by the defense. Gets into the end zone one more time for Kenny Harrison to score 4 touchdowns in the first half. So right before halftime, Dallas, knowing that they have to score here or they're in fear of getting blown out, he gets sacked there by Whitfield. They would have to go for it here on 4th down, and a right decision it was, as Pat Kane under pressure throws a high ball to Tony Chrisman, but he gets it over Bobby Lowe and they score a touchdown to be within 2 scores. Harrison here trying to put the nail in the coffin here on the third quarter here, looking, but all his receivers are covered. He's getting pressured there. He rolls off to the left side, and as he goes off to the left side, he sees Young peek out and separate as he gets all the way into the end zone for an incredible touchdown, but they would call it back for holding by Henson there, and an incredible play gets wiped off on the map. But have no fear, Kenny Harrison finds Jay Sean Myers, the former New York Jay, into the end zone a few plays later for the touchdown, and that would basically end the game here. The final score would be 35-25, and the Orlando Knight Riders, after starting the season 0-5, now win 2 straight and maybe have a shot here to go to the playoffs. So the 3-3 LA Gold will travel to Boston to take on the Boston Revolution here, 6-1, and we thought this would be their toughest challenge yet, or at least we thought we would, as Corey Smith runs through one of the linebackers to set a precedence for the beginning of this game. And then on the next play here, DeAndre Lane gets the screen, hurdles over one man twice, and gets all the way past the 25. This would set up a goal line screen here by Anthony Bales to Jermaine Tucker, but he gets stopped early by Brad Emanuel, and it would set up a 4th down. And Bales would go for it here as he would take a quarterback sneak right into the end zone for the first touchdown of the day. But Nate Whitworth would not have a good first drive as he gets pummeled there by Jacobs here on one of the first plays of the game. And then here on a 3rd and 21 here, he meets Burnett, one of the D linemen, and they would have to punt the ball. After a Revolution field goal here, Nate Whitman would throw a deep bomb to Holmberg, as I don't know what Atkins was doing there, but he will not catch Holmberg as they will get their first points of the game. This would leave the Revolution to respond here off a play action fake here, and Kevin Lloyd is wide open. He gets a key block into the end zone for his first touchdown of the night. A drive later, Bales would give it to the MVP, the defending MVP, Corey Smith, and he makes one move and he makes a man miss, going all the way to the end zone for a 50-yard touchdown run. Corey Smith, he still got it. And on the next drive here, Nate Whitman, refusing to quit here off of play action, throws it to Crockett, who had a step on All-Pro Chris Ulrich there, and he'll take it into the end zone for a touchdown, now only down by 7. And here with 34 seconds left in the first half, Anthony Bales will find a wide open DeAndre Lane, and he'll take it inside the red zone so they can try to get a score. And just to think that the Revolution might be trying to get a field goal here, no, they're going for the whole enchilada. Anthony Bales finds Lloyd for the touchdown there, and they scored 31 points in the first half here. And here in the 3rd quarter, Nate Whitman with a play action pass here, trying to throw it here to Vargas, but Abrams is there for the interception, and that was basically the nail on the coffin for this game, as the Boston Revolution would coast to a 37-27 victory, having 31 first half points and continuing to go to first place here as they go 7-1. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It is Atlanta Bullets time. They are 4-3 here, taking on the Oakland Grizzlies, and we cannot have an Atlanta Bullets highlight without a D Singleton interception. So right there, he throws his first interception to Bush there, and they would take it down to the 50. And then Luke McCoy with a play action fake would throw a 54-yard bomb right to Tariq Jammer into the end zone for a touchdown. That will not be the last time you see Tariq Jammer today, as he had an incredible rookie day, probably one of the best rookie performances ever here in BFL history. And then there on first down, Wilson gets his first sack, and then Singleton will get pressured again. He will throw an errant throw right to Armstrong, and they will get the ball back once again. Oakland would capitalize on the situation by giving it right to Jed Cornell for his first touchdown of the game, and it will be 14-0 Grizzlies. So here on a seemingly easy 4th and inches here, they put the spy on Singleton so he cannot escape, so he'll just throw the ball up to Keith Manning, and it will be a turnover on downs. And after an Oakland field goal, the Grizzlies would get the ball back here, and a seemingly tipped ball gets caught by Jed Cornell. What else can he do today? And this would set up a long 2nd and goal after a couple penalties here. And Tariq Jammer, what a dot by Luke McCoy right to Tariq Jammer, as he has his 2nd touchdown here in the first half. But we're not done with him yet, folks, so stay tuned for that one. Singleton throwing it right to Keith Manning right before halftime, getting into field goal range. Keith Manning being the focus today. And speaking of being focused, Singleton would throw it to Keith Manning once again, but Mason would be called for pass interference, so they would get the ball at the 1 yard line. Singleton would give it to Wicks, and he would find his way into the end zone right before halftime, almost being shut out here in the first half, but end up getting a 24-7 game here. And Atlanta would get the ball here in the second half, and they would make an efficient drive to get into the end zone for a touchdown right to Bryant. And shades of a comeback were imminent here, but Tariq Jammer shut that door closed as he took this ball all the way into the end zone for a 98-yard kick return for a touchdown. What else can he do today? That is 3 total touchdowns today. D. Singleton and the Bullets once again making an efficient drive, getting down into the end zone once again, right this time to Keith Manning. And now it is 21-31. But the Grizzlies aren't done yet. A routine screenplay by Jed Cornell. Breaks 1, breaks 2, and then fights his way out of a 3rd broken tackle. Jed Cornell, the Mega Bowl 3 MVP, takes it all the way into the end zone. From a routine screenplay to a touchdown, they capitalize on their lead. But if you ever followed my past videos, you know anything about this Bullet Squad is that they don't quit. D. Singleton once again drives them all the way to the end zone and gets another rushing touchdown today. But if Atlanta kept opening the door to opportunities, Tariq Jammer himself kept closing the door here, as he would take this one 99 yards for his second kick return for a touchdown. That is his 4th total touchdown today, and Tariq Jammer was a one-man army today. Incredible job by the rookie. But the Bullets still having that glimpse of hope. Singleton throws it to Wicks, breaks a tackle, but leaves the ball back at the 30-yard line, and then it's a scramble to get the ball back. Initially, it was picked up by number 54. He fumbled it, but it got eventually picked up by Oakland, and then Jed Cornell would score his 3rd total touchdown today, and that would basically end the game. But Singleton and this offense are so hard to put down. They get into the red zone once again. Singleton, he sees a line of green ahead of him. He dives, but the ball gets popped out, and Randall would pick up the ball. They would eventually score a touchdown with garbage time left, but an incredible 94-point performance by both teams, and the Grizzlies would win this game 52-42. For our final game of the week, the New Jersey Dragons on a 4-game win streak, 5-2, trying to take second place for themselves, but they have to get past the Denver Dynamo. And the Dynamo start this one off strong here as Harrison somehow gets away from a couple defenders, breaks one, hurdles another, and then he takes this one all the way to the end zone for a 65-yard touchdown. Great job there by Lamar Harrison. And then Murphy looking to score, this time on his own here, rolls off to the right and has nothing but green in front of him, but he gets hit and the ball comes loose just about an inch before he reaches the end zone. It gets picked up by Hahn, and they would take the ball over before the end of the first quarter. And then driving down the field is Ricky Bledsoe and company, giving it off to their fullback, Casper Perry, who subbed in as a running back, and he has no problem taking this one to the end zone, 33 yards, as he lost 15 pounds last season from this season coming on to score. Murphy trying to respond after this one, but Jeffries comes off the edge and sacks him there, and they will be forced to punt the ball away. And Ricky Bledsoe would take advantage of the situation here off a play action fake, and a blown coverage there by Smith, and Chris Barber would easily take this one into the end zone for a touchdown. OJ Knight would be injured after that one. So Murphy and the crew finally getting into the red zone here, and he throws a dot right to Gross, but Gross drops it there. And what a drop there. Gross usually doesn't drop those. But 2nd and 10, pump fakes, looking for Carroll, throws another dot to Carroll, and he drops it. And these are the 2 best receivers on the team, folks, and they would have to settle for 3 points. So Murphy getting the ball before halftime here. He's looking off to the right here. He's going to take a run here inside the 30, takes a hit, but now trying to get in field goal range. But Rashard Murphy here would succumb to the pressure and just heave it out there, and all-pro Brandon Gill will get the interception, and they would accrue 0 points here going into that half. We speed up to the fourth quarter here, and Murphy has the ball once again, gives it to his main man, Rodney Parker, and he will fight his way into the red zone to try to score. Once again here on a 3rd and inches call, Murphy goes for the play action fake, but succumbs to the blitz, and he would take a sack here on 4th down. But they would go for it here on 4th and 12, knowing that they need a score here to try to get back into the game. Throws it to Flanagan, and he gets the 1st down to make it 1st and goal. And Murphy would give it to Phil Quick off of a full house toss, and they would score here to get back into this game. And the Dragons would go for 2 here to try to make it a 10-point game. Gives it to his main man, once again, Rodney Parker. It looks like the only guy with hands here, and they make it a 10-point game. Ricky Bledsoe here, dropping back here on a 3rd and 12, gets chased out, so he throws the ball away, but he forgets to go outside of the tackle box. He throws the ball outside into the end zone, so it will result in a safety, which makes it an 8-point game. And Rashard Murphy throws it right to Parker for a clutch throw to get into enemy territory. Murphy throwing it to Flanagan here. He takes a hit, but the ball is loose. It would be called a fumble on the field. They would call a challenge, but it would stand on this one. Ricky Bledsoe looking on a 3rd and 7, trying to look. He rolls off to the left, then he rolls off to the right to get it blocked in. He throws it, and Smith, the one who got the blown coverage, makes up for it with a tip. So 1st and 10 with over 90 seconds to go. Murphy getting pursued by Jeffries, but Murphy being clutch, rolling off to the left and getting that 1st down. Then on 1st down, once again, play action fake. They bite on it just a little bit for Flanagan to get separation and get a 1st down and put them in a goal line situation. 1st and goal, Murphy looking for guess who? Rodney Parker once again for a touchdown to make it a 2-point game. So you know what they have to do. They have to go for 2. So here we go. Murphy finds a wide open Adams, and he drops it. He drops the game tying 2-point conversion, and that would be the game. The Denver Dynamo, on their last home game before going into their away series, gets a win and snaps the 4-game win streak that the Dragons were on. So that is it for week 8. After week 8, the stand-ins are forming here for the playoffs here. The Revolution stand tall at 7-1 all by themselves here and have a 2-game advantage over the other 3 teams. The other 3 teams here are the Dynamo at 5-2 sitting pretty, the Dragons at 5-3, and the Kings at 5-3. The Cyclones sit here at 4-3, 1 game over 500. The Golden Owls and Grizzlies join them as well at 4-3, the Grizzlies' first time over 500. The Bullets and the Demons sit at 4-4, and the Bullets, this is their first time at 500 in a long time. The Bulldogs and the Gold are sitting at 3-4. The Knight Riders, Scouts, and Jays and Marshalls all sitting at 2-5 and 2-6 respectively to try to climb their way out and try to get a playoff spot. So I think it's clear to say that our player of the week has to be Tariq Jammer, the rookie, scoring not only 2 receiving touchdowns, but getting 2 kick returns for touchdowns here. And he has 8 total touchdowns when it comes to receiving and 2 touchdowns when it comes to kick returns. So he's at a total of 10 this season, and he's looking like the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year. For our MVP rankings here, Luke McCoy puts himself into the MVP looks here as he has 20 touchdowns and 7 INTs, and he definitely put himself back in the ranking here for MVP. Not only that, but Ricky Bledsoe here has the same amount of yards with 2,117, but with 20 touchdowns and only 2 INTs, he's definitely in the front running for MVP. Even though this team is 4-4, D Singleton, we have to put him in the ranking for MVP. Not only does he have 20 touchdowns and 10 INTs, he also has 9 touchdowns on the run with 543 yards, totaling almost 2,500 yards in total this season. He has 29 touchdowns in total, so it would be just a shame not to put him in the MVP ranking. Also in last in the MVP ranking, but still up there, is Tamarick Clay with 794 yards and 12 touchdowns. And even though he's 4-4 alongside the Bullets, this team has won 2 straight to get themselves back into the playoff picture, and it's all because of Tamarick Clay. And as for the week 9 schedule, I'll have it up here right now. And for our 2 games of the week, we have another heritage game between the Kings once again and the Cyclones. The Kings would definitely take advantage of this one, as they would knock Cyclones down to 4-4 with the Bullets and the Demons. Meanwhile, the Kings would go up to 6-3 and put themselves in a 2nd place spot. Also, another game of the week, we have the Demons and the Dynamo. The Demons can win this one and become 5-4 and put themselves in the upper echelon of the playoffs, looking at one of the first 4 spots, so they could get a home game for the first time in their team's history at the playoffs. And then we have the Dynamo, who could get their 6th win and go and skip ahead of the Kings and get the 1st place spot. So both 2 important games here. We got the Knight Riders and the Bullets, both important games as well, as the Bullets will get their 5th win of the season and keep themselves in the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Knight Riders will pretty much be teetering on the edge of playoff contention if they get their 7th loss. Then we have the Scouts taking on the Revolution, and the Revolution look like heavy favorites here going into Kansas City, as they would if they beat the Scouts, they would have their 8th win and basically solidify a playoff berth, and the Scouts would have their 7th loss of the season. The Jays take on the Bulldogs, and this is a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to get out of their situation and try to get, I believe, their 4th win here. Yeah, this would be their 4th win of the season, and the Jays would be basically going on the first one out of the playoffs. Then we have the Dragons against the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are having such a good run here. I believe they have won 2 or 3 straight here to go 4-3, and this is their first time over 500. So getting a win against the Dragons would definitely knock the Dragons off of their stool here, and they would go 5-4. And they would tie with the Grizzlies as well. Actually, the Grizzlies would go 5-3, so they would overtake the Dragons there. And then we got the Gold versus the Golden Owls, battle of the Gold teams here, as the Gold will have to be fighting for their playoff lives here, as they are also 3-4. And the Golden Owls, I believe, are 4-3. The Golden Owls with a win here in Los Angeles would definitely put them in a good spot after losing, I believe, 2 straight coming out of their bye week. But they should be refreshed and ready to go. The Gold are really good at defending the run, so that should be an interesting matchup coming into that one. And also, the Marshalls have a bye week. So I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel here. We have just reached 300 subscribers, so I want to thank you guys for that. This has been such a fun league, especially now when we got the AFL. So I want you guys to just keep on watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and once again, have a great week.